Today's video is all about some random tips that I thought I would share that have really improved my fish keeping happiness in the last week or a month or so, and some really dumb improvements that I had to make where I'm really curious. Have you ever had to sit yourself down and say, you really need to fix this? So this is kind of a view behind the curtain. I thought that was a fun double meaning. And this is actually the curtain that we look at during the live stream. But this is first thing that I did that I was so excited, especially clearing out the loft upstairs, is combining all of our hardscaping. And this is just one of the random piles that we have in the fish room. Don't need to keep piles of rocks. So it's literally throughout the house, driftwood, rocks, tanks, they're all now in the garage. Very happy, and I think my brain really appreciates that as well. It's kind of just more, it's less stressful knowing that all of my hardscaping is all in one spot, so you don't look and then just wonder if you have other better options throughout your house. This is a fun one. As the weather is getting better, I am going out into the backyard where other fish keepers in the house have dropped off, dumped out tanks that have been dismantled. So there's piles of sand and gravel everywhere. Some I will probably actually clean off and keep, but others I have to actually clean up. I just thought I would share that was kind of funny. And this is another thing. If you have too many tanks, or maybe your tanks, the sizes or just the escapes aren't working, break them down. Break them down, and that's a great thing about small escapes. Tiny tanks is that's what you can do. You can easily pick them up, clean them out, keep all the parts together in your tank, and just put them in your garage. I was literally so happy to break these 3 tanks down that didn't have any occupants, just maybe some old plants, and just the water was evaporating. So this just made me feel like $1 million to get these cleaned out and stashed away. This is a tank you've seen many times. It's in our kitchen. And funny thing with this one, you're going to see there's a number of dumb things with not specifically this tank, but a tank close to it. This has my pumpkin shrimp and a few little chili raspberries, and of course Spot. You see little Spots right there. He's my dwarf raspberry. He's so super friendly. I just adore him, and I just love having this tank in the kitchen. Is it overgrown? Yes. And small tanks will become overgrown very quickly. I am going to be kind of rescaping this, but look at that. I put a tank next to it, and do you remember this? This is like my little winterscape, and I brought it up in the kitchen. It's the same tank, so it's kind of dark and light, and there's a lot of dumb things with that tank on the right. I'm going to get to in a minute why I have that ugly Anubias right in the middle, but I am not going to move it, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But this tank, so many dumb things that I'd like to share with this tank that I either had to fix or, and then just some really fun tips. This has my Hydrangea Formosa. I actually have 2 tanks that have my Hydrangea Formosas, otherwise known as the Fermies. I call them Fermies, but they are such a fun, tiny, tiny little fish. And the mama in here has a lot of babies. And they have babies over multiple days. So I can look in there at any point and see 5 babies, and then the next day I can see 7 babies. And these little cubby holes it's just absolutely perfect for having mama hide in there and have her little babies, and the little babies hiding. But this light colored substrate, you would think I wanted to get you some shots of the tiny little babies. I think those are not even the tiniest ones. But super fun. Is it heavily aquascaped anymore? No. I actually meant to change a couple of the rocks on the top and make it look kind of more wintry, but I had just put this Anubias in there so it wouldn't die, and I left it there. But biggest dumb thing is this light on top. For the longest time, and I just fixed it, there was a light that was exactly the right height or the length of one single tank, the one on the left, and it fit great, except then I had 2 tanks. So the dumbest thing I would do for months is I would pick it up after a couple hours, I would move it from one tank to the next, and then dumb thing number 2 was this timer. Now if you have a lot of tanks, you probably have timers, but what do you do when your timer breaks and you don't want to go get another one? Well, you just manually turn it on. Do you remember to do that? Turn it on and off on a regular basis? No. So I would I don't even know how much light these guys would get. Maybe it was really dumb. So I had to go, this is a stash. This is a stash of lights. I don't even know how many of these are working. And also we have a stash of timers. Captain America keeps an eye on them. And yeah, I just grabbed a new one and I was so proud of myself. Just grab another one, fix the timer and fix the light so that it actually covers both tanks. Now this is a really fun fact that I thought I would share because you really wouldn't think about it. These fish, now they're not super colorful and they're super tiny. You would think a darker substrate would, just make them look better. No. What I would like to share is try them on light colored substrate like this. Look at the blues on the top of little mama over there. I look at these fish, I'm just absolutely mesmerized every time I'm in the kitchen, and I have to check them out because they are so pretty. And of course, my Blue Dream shrimp are beautiful as well. But the colors are so like pastel-y, and I'm going to show you my other tank in a little while. You can tell me which tank makes them look prettier. I would highly recommend doing a very light colored substrate. Out already, that ugly plant in the middle is because so many little babies and they just love swimming around it. So I'm going to leave it for them because if I have to choose between a beautiful, stunning aquascape and something that I see my fish are enjoying, I'm just going to let my fish enjoy whatever it is that they like. And then I highly also recommend having your tank be able to see it on all sides. And that's the great thing about putting these tanks on that kind of peninsula in the kitchen is I can see it from all sides, especially with that kind of escape. Super fun. Now this is, it's a funny, dumb thing. All right, I've got pumpkin shrimp in this tank, and I also have a few chilies. And these, if you recognize, you probably won't recognize them because they're so overgrown. These are the remaining 2 tanks from the live stream and the backdrop from all the videos. There used to be 4 tanks side by side, and now there's only 2. Yes, and then there were 2. One of them is going to be also broken down. The other one will I will combine the occupants, quite possibly, unless I kind of move these group of Fermi somewhere else. But this one has a mono shrimp. Highly recommend a mono shrimp. They are larger than your regular like Neocaridina, and they're of course not as colorful, but boy are they workers. They work so hard trying to keep this tank clean, and you should have seen as like crystal clear as it was before I started messing around with it. But this tank I'm going to be redoing soon, and this is kind of like a little teaser. It's like an Easter egg. Do you ever have these tanks where they have like dried duckweed on the side, and before you get the razor blade out, you can see my little chilies. I had to get footage because they're so beautiful. But this tank is overgrown. I'm going to be rescaping it. And the other funny thing is I'm going to recreate something for you. See how this light perfectly fits over 2 tanks. It's just great. Well, when there were 4 tanks, I had, and this is the Higer, it works great, the Higer and the Phoenix, love them both. That's right, this is me recreating it. I had a light that worked over 4 tanks. And I don't know how many months has it been since I have left it over 2 tanks. Way too long. And so I finally said, go down to the basement, get yourself a shorter light, and I did. And it fits perfectly, and I just wasted all that time having it look, it's totally sticking out. I would constantly hit it. It was terrible. So if you ever fix something that's really dumb like that after months, this is your little teaser. This is me starting to clean this tank, and this is so satisfying. I have put it off for so long because I wanted to put it on video, because who wouldn't love to see a gross tank cleaning? Now the fish are totally happy in here. It's overgrown, but fish love it. Fish love swimming in and out of all those plants, but this one's going to get fixed up. If you made it to the end, thank you very much. I do appreciate it, but let me know. Before an aquascaping video, would you love to see the tank getting totally cleaned? I myself love those, but let me know if you want to see the cleaning before this tank gets rescaped. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.